Hi, welcome to IDC YouTube channel. I'm Raj Tobi, and today I'll be solving questions from past Waec Maths collections. Join me in after. Okay, this is Waec past question 2022, and question number 1, we're asked to add and subtract these numbers. Whenever you have questions like this, you must want to consider BODMAS, and that means addition should come before subtraction. So the best thing to do is rearrange, bring addition first before subtraction. Now we're going to do addition first. Right here, 75 points plus 9.83, and we add. Well, you can want to add up these zeros to make your work look better. 5 minus 0 is 5, 8 minus 0 is 8, 7 minus 3 is 5, 0 minus 8 you have to borrow, and this is 4, so this can be 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. Your decimal point, 4 minus 9, we have to borrow again, so this becomes 6, so this can be 14. 14 minus 9 is 5, and then 6 minus nothing is 6. Correct answer to the question. Or maybe not. We still have to subtract. So we have 65.2585 minus 34.624. Now 5 minus 0, 8 minus 4, 5 minus 2, 2 minus 6 we borrow. This becomes 12 minus 6 is 6. The decimal 4 minus 4 is 0, and 6 minus 3 is 3. And now we finally have the correct answer. But also to 2 decimal places, we have to stop here and approximate to 30.63. Now note that if this number was up to 5, then you round up by adding 1 to this, but if it is not up to 5, you add nothing, and that's how we got our answer to be. Question 2. If x is equal to a number such that x is less than 7, it means that x is a set of numbers that are less than 7, and they are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are the possible values of x. And y is a number y such that y is a factor of 24. So we have to find the factors of 24. Factors of 24 are numbers that can divide 24 without a remainder, such as 1 and 24, 2 times 12 is 24, 3 times 8, 4 times 6, and this here will give you the factors of 24, or numbers that can divide 24. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. So the question finally says we should find x intersection y. And x intersection y is a set of numbers that are in set x and set y at the same time. For example, 1 is one of them, 2 is one of them, 3 is one of them, 4 is one of them, and 6 is one of them. So x intersection y would now be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And this is the correct answer to the question. Question 3. Well, in questions like this, we have to break them into bits and solve. For example, we should know that 16 over 9 raised to the power of minus 3 over 2 can be solved this way. Now, a number raised to a negative power means the reciprocal of the number. So 9 can go up and 16 can come down, still to the power of 3 over 2. Now, a number raised to the power of 1 over 2 means the square root of the number. So for 1 over 2, note that 3 over 2 is the same as 3 times 1 over 2. So solving this part, we have the square root of 9 over 16, but still we have the power of 3. We've only solved this. So square root of 9 over 16 is 3, and square root of 16 is 4. So raised to the power of 3. 3 raised to the power of 3 is 27, and 4 raised to the power of 3 is 64. And that solves this. Moving on to the second part, we have 16 raised to the power of minus 3 over 4. And we all know by now that a number raised to the power of a negative is just the reciprocal of the number. And that will be 1 over 16 in this case, raised to the power of 3 over 4. Now, a number raised to the power of 3 over 4 is the same as 3 times 1 over 4, and the number raised to the power of 1 over 4 is the fourth root of it. So this will mean that we have the fourth root of 1 over 16, but still raised to the power of 3, the other 3. Now the fourth root of 1 is still 1, because 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And the fourth root of 16, I think, is 2, because 2 times 2 is 4, times 2, 8, times 2, 16. So yes, it is 2, but still raised to the power of 3. Now, 1 raised to the power of 3 is 1, 2 raised to the power of 3. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2, 8. So 8. And that means we've been able to solve this. Now we have to add all these numbers together. 27 over 64 times 1 over 8. Don't forget, all raised to the power of 1 over 3. Let's continue on this side. Now, so this means that we have, well, I think we can solve this by breaking it down, and doing so, we can have 27 times 1 is 27, and 64 times 8 is going to give us a large number. So maybe we should use a different rule of indices, whereby if I have a number times another number raised to a certain power, then I can just have this number raised to the power times the other one raised to the same power. So 27 over 64 times 1 over 8 raised to the power of 1 over 3 is the same as 27 over 64 raised to the power of 1 over 3 times 1 over 8 raised to the power of 1 over 3 as well. So 27 raised to the power of 1 over 3 is the same as the cube root of the number times, of course, again the cube root of the number. So what is the cube root of 27? I think it's 3. And the cube root of 64 is 4. Again, the cube root of 1 is 1, and the cube root of 8 is 2. So at the end of the day, we have 3 times 1, which is 3, and 4 times 2, which is 8. So our answer is 3 over 8. Question 4. 4x is equal to 7 mod 9 means that 4 times a number x divided by the mode 9 will give us a number with a remainder of 7. Now, what is the least number or value of x that can satisfy this. Let's do trial and error, starting with 1. Of course, 1 is not in these numbers, so maybe we should start with the smallest number here. Note, you can start assuming x is equal to 1. If it doesn't work, you make it 2. If it doesn't work, you make it 3, and so on. But since we don't have these values in our options, why not we use the smallest option we have, or the smallest value we have in our option, and that's 4. So 4 times 4 is equal, or divided by 9 is equal to a number with a remainder of 7. Is this true? Let's try. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 over 9. 9 will go into 16 just once with a remainder of 7. It means 4 is the correct option, and that's the answer to the question. Well, you can try 5, 6, and 7. They may or may not give you a remainder of 7. But even if they do, they are still not the least number that can satisfy this. Remember, the question says the least value of x that can do this, and that is, in this case, 4. Okay, express 1 plus 2 log 10 raised to the power of 3 in the form log 10 raised to the power of q. It means we're asked to express this in a single log like this. How do we do that? Now note that 1 is the same of log as log 10 to 10, or log to the base of 10 of 10. So log to the base of 10 of 10 is 1. So I can represent 1 by this, plus 2 log to the base of 10 to 3. Now 2 here can be brought here as a power of 3 if you know your laws of logarithm. So this is log to the base of 10 plus log base 10 of 3 raised to the power of 2. Now all together we have this plus log to the base of 10. 3 raised to the power of 2 is 9. Now, one other rule of logarithm says if you have logs of the same base, then they can be brought to a single log with the product of the two numbers. So that will be 10 times 9. Because they were added, you multiply. If they were divided, then, if they were subtracted, then you divide. So we have this, and our answer at the end of the day is log to the base of 10 to 90. And that's the correct question. Now, we have that 101 in base 2 plus 12 in base y is equal to 23 in base 5. How do we find the value of y? The best way to solve this question is try to convert these numbers each to a number in base 10. And how do we do that? For the first one, it's going to be the first number times the base raised to the power of 0, 1, 2. So for this raised to the power of 2 plus 0 times the base raised to the power of 1 and plus 1 times the base raised to the power of 0. How I got these indexes is by labeling these numbers from the right to the left, starting from 0. Now, having this done, we can now go to the next one. Change it to base 10. That will be 1 times the base raised to the power of the index, and plus 2 times the base raised to the power of the index. Now finally, we're going to change this to base 10, and that will be 2 times the base raised to the power of the index, plus 3 times the base raised to the power of the index. Now, since we've done all of this, why not we try to solve and simplify these numbers? 1 times 2 raised to the power of 4 is 2 times 2, 4. Plus 0 times 2 raised to the power of 1. 0 times any number is 0. And then 1 times 2 raised to the power of 0. 2 raised to the power of 0 is 1 times 1 is 1. Plus 1 times y raised to the power of 1 is y. Plus 2 times y raised to the power of 0. Remember, any number raised to the power of 0 is 0. Is 1. So 1 times 2 is 2. Now this is equal to 2 times 5 raised to the power of 1, which is 2 times 5, and that will give you 10, plus 3 times 5 raised to the power of 0, which is 3. So here we have 4 plus 0 plus 1 plus y plus 2, and that will give you 7 plus y equal to 13. 10 plus 3 is 13. So our y is equal to 13. If you bring 7 here, it becomes minus 7. So we have y equal to 13 minus 7. And 13 minus 7 is 6. Question 7. An amount of 550,000 naira was realized when the principal of X was saved at 2% simple interest for 5 years. Find the value of X. Simple interest. And we know that simple interest, I, is equal to principal times rate times time all over 100. Where the principal in this question was given as X, the rate was given at 2%, and the time was given as 5 years. Also, amount was given as 550,000 naira. Now from this we can easily say that the interest is equal to the principal, which is X times the rate times the time, all divided by 100, which is equal to X times 2 times 5 is 10x, all over 100. 10 can divide 100, so you have X divided by 10 equal to your interest. We can also note that amount is equal to principal plus interest, which means that interest is equal to amount minus principal. So in place of interest here, I can put amount minus principal, and that will be equal to amount, which is 550,000 minus the principal X, is now equal to X over 10. Bringing the like terms together, I can have 550,000 equal to X over 10. This X can come here to become plus X. So plus X, and if you like, over 1. And this is equal to 10 X plus 10x. If you solve this fraction, addition of fractions here, you're going to get x plus 10x all over 10, still equal to 550,000 naira. Now this is simply equal to 550,000 times 10. If I cross multiply 10 here, equal to x plus 10x. Now this will be equal to 550. And if you multiply by 10, you add a 0 to it. So this is 5,500,000 equal to x plus 10x is equal to 11x. Divide both sides by 11. And you get 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 equal to x. As 11 will cancel out 11. So our answer is simply 500,000 there. Okay, question 8. Given that root of 3 plus root of 5 all divided by root of 5 is equal to x plus y root of 15, find the value of x plus y. Now we can choose to solve the source first. Root of 3 plus root of 5 all all divided by the root of 5 equal to x plus y root of 15. To solve this sort, we try to eliminate the source from the denominator. That would mean to multiply this by root 5 over root 5. Now let's solve this to see. This will now be root of 3 plus root of 5, all multiplied by root of 5 and divided by root of 5 times root of 5. So multiply the numerator, that will be root 3 times root 5, which is root 15, plus root 5 times root 5. Square root of 5 times square root of 5 is square root of 25, which is just 5 at the end of the day. Then we also have at the denominator square root of 5 times square root of 5, which is 5 without the square root at the end of the day. Now still this is equal to x plus y square root of 15. We can also write this as 5 plus root of 15 all divided by square root of 5 equal to x plus y square root of 15. Now this can as well be written as 5 over 5 plus square root of 15 divided by 5, still equal to x plus y root 15. Now 5 over 5 is 1 plus root 15 over 5 can be written as 1 over 5 root 15. Now if you try to compare these to the right hand side where we have x plus y root 15, then you can easily see that x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 1 over 5. So if x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1 over 5, then we can easily say that x plus y, what we are asked to find is 1 plus y is 1 over 5. Solve the fraction, you get 1 over 1 plus 1 over 5. LCM is 5. Divide 5 by this is 5 times that 5. Plus divide 5 by this 1 times that 1. So we have 6 over 5. And it is equal to one whole number, 1 over 5, as a mixed fraction. Now question 9, we were given that the value of x is 3, the value of y is minus 1. And we're asked to evaluate 2 into x squared minus x raised to the power 3. Now what we need to do is just substitute the values of x and y into this expression. And that will be 2 into x squared. X is 3 squared minus y is minus 1. So that will be minus 1 squared. Now this is still equal to 2 into x squared is 9. Now minus 1 squared is plus 1. So it's still 1. So we have 2 into or times 9 minus 1 is 8. And this will give you 16 at the end of the day. Question 10, we have the simultaneous equation of 3x minus 2y equal to 10 and x plus 3y equal to 7. Now, we are going to use the elimination method, and that would mean I will choose to eliminate x, because I can just multiply this equation by 3 and the two coefficients of x will be equal. So let's do that. If I multiply equation 2 by 3, I'm going to get 3x plus 9y equal to 21. Now bring down equation 1 to join this. Still we have 3x minus 2y equal to 10. Now let's subtract the two equations. Equation 3 minus equation 1. And that will be 3x minus 3x is equal to 0. And then 9y minus 2y is 7y. Now equal to 21 minus 10 is 11. Oh, okay. 9y minus 2y becomes 9y plus 2y. And that will give us 11y. Sorry, I almost made a mistake. So 9y minus 2y is 11y equal to 11. And that means y is equal to 11 over 11, which is equal to 1. Now that's for y. Now that we know the value of y, we can go back to equation 2. From equation 2 and substitute the value of y. And that will mean that x plus 3y will be 3 times 1, which is 3, equal to 7. Remember, this is equation 2. The equation I substituted the value of y into, and I have this, and that means x is equal to 7. If this comes here, it becomes minus 3, and x will be equal to 4. X is 4 and y is 1. Now, in this implication, we were told that x implies y. And that means that if x is a situation, then y should be the reaction. Or if x is an action, then y should be the reaction. Now it also means that if x is not the action, then y should not be the action. If x happens, y should happen, or y should follow. If x does not happen, then y cannot happen. And that means our answer is this. So we have a geometric progression where we are given the first term as 3 and then the fifth term as 48. Remember, the nth term or the fifth term, T5, should be given or should be equal to the first term times the common ratio to the power of the nth term minus 1. Now, that will mean that the fifth term, T5, is equal to 48. The first term was given as 3. The common ratio is what we need to find. And I think, well, the nth term, we're given the fifth term, so the n here is equal to 5. And if this is the case, we can substitute to our formula and see that T5 which is 48, is equal to first term 3 times the common ratio, which we're looking for, raised to the power of the nth minus 1. And this in return can be equal to r raised to the power 5 minus 1. If you cross multiply, 3 comes here and divide 48. So 16 is equal to r raised to the power of 4. Now remember, if I find the fourth root of this, I can also find the fourth root of this as well, and my equation still remains the same. The fourth root of a number raised to the power of 4 means that the roots and the power will be cancelled. So we can easily find the fourth root of 16 equal to r. Remember, the roots and the power cancelled each other here, and that's why I'm left with just r. Now the fourth root of 16 is 2, because 2 times 2 is 4, times 2, 8, times 2, 16. So the fourth root of 16 is 2, equal to r. That means we have a common ratio. We're asked to solve 1 over 3 into bracket 5 minus 3x less than 2 over 5 into bracket 3 minus 7x. Now the first thing we must do is open this bracket, and that will mean you multiply this by this and also by that. 5 over 3, 1 over 3 times 5 is 5 over 3 minus 1 over 3 times 3x will be 3x over 3, and 3 will cancel 3, and you'll be left with x less than. Same thing should be done here. Open the bracket by multiplying this by what's in the bracket. 2 over 5 times 3 is 2 over 5 times 3, and that will be 2 times 3 over 5, which is 6 over 5 minus 2 over 5 times 7x will be 2 times 7 times x, which is 14x over 5. Why not we now bring the like terms together? And if you ask me, I think this should come to the side of the inequality, and that will be 5 over 3. If 6 over 5 comes over, it becomes minus 6 over 5. Now, still this. Now, if we will have to cross this from here to the other side, then this sign must be changed to greater than. And so we can easily just say we have minus 14x over 5 plus x. Let's solve the two fractions and see what we have. 5 over 3 minus 6 over 5, LCM is 15. 15 divided by 3 times 5 is 25. Minus 15 divided by 5 times 3 is 18. And this is still greater than. LCM here is 5. So we have minus 14x. And if you divide this here, you will get 5x added. Question 14. Make m the subject of relation k equal to square root of m minus y all divided by m plus 1. So if k is equal to the square root of m minus y all over m plus 1. Now, these square roots can be removed here by finding the square of this. But remember, you have to do the same here. So square can cancel square root. So we have k squared equal to m minus y all over m plus 1. Now cross multiply, you have k squared times m plus 1 equal to m minus y. To open this bracket, you multiply k squared by m and also k squared times 1 is just k squared equal to m minus y. Remember, we're asked to find m, so let's bring the like terms together. That will be k squared m. If m comes here, it becomes minus m. Now equal to minus y. If k squared comes here, it becomes minus k squared. So k squared m minus m can be factored out, and that will be m into k squared minus 1. Now if you factor out m from this, k squared will be left, and if you factor out m from this, 1 is left. So this is equal to minus y minus k squared, and now we can divide both sides by k squared minus 1, so that this can cancel this, and m will now be left to be equal to minus y minus k squared all over k squared minus 1. Now my answer has taken different signs from the ones we have in the option, so I can simply multiply this by minus 1. Don't forget to do the same here, multiply by minus 1. If you open the bracket on top, minus 1 times minus y is y, then minus 1 times minus k squared is plus k squared, all divided by minus 1 times k squared is minus k squared, and minus 1 times minus 1 is plus 1. So I think we can now see if this is one of the options. And yes, y plus k squared and 1 minus k squared. And we have an answer to the question. Question 15. Find the quadratic equation whose roots are 1 over 2 and minus 1 over 3. Now, if the roots are 1 over 2 and minus 1 over 3, it means x is equal to 1 over 2, or x is equal to minus 1 over 3. And if this is the case, it means that x minus 1 over 2 times x plus 1 over 3. I hope you notice that 1 over 2 is now minus here, and minus 1 over 3 is now plus here, all equal to 0. Let's expand the bracket. So this will be x times the second bracket. This is 3, please. Minus 1 over 2 times the second bracket again. Still equal to 0. Let's expand the first bracket to get x times x is x squared, plus x times 1 over 3 is x over 3. Now expand the second bracket. Minus 1 over 2 times x is x over 2. And minus 1 over 2 times 1 over 3 is 1 over 6. And this is all equal to 0. Now notice that I can multiply this equation by 6. Because 6 is the highest common multiple of all these denominators. So 6 times x is 6x squared, plus 6 times x over 3 is 6 over 3 times x, 6 over 3 is 2 times x, which is 2x, minus 6 times x over 2 is 6 over 2 times x, which is 3x, and minus 6 times 1 over 6 is 1, all equal to 0. Now we can simply say we have x squared plus 2x minus 3x is minus x, and minus 1 equal to 0. I hope we have an answer. Yes, we do. Question 16. Given that x is directly proportional to y and inversely proportional to z. Now we can combine these two relations to say x is proportional directly to y and inversely to z, which means that x is equal to a constant times y over z. Now this is how x, y, and z are related or connected, but we also need to find the value of k by substituting the value of x and the value of y and z. And this means that z is 4, so z should be replaced with 4, and this would mean that we have 15 times 4 if you cross multiply equal to k, and you can also divide this by 10. 5 here 3, 5 here 2, 2 here 1, 2 here 2, so this is equal to 6. K is equal to 6. So x is equal to 6 y over z, and we have an answer. Question 17. Two buses, bus A and bus B, start from the same station at 9 a.m. and travel in opposite directions along the same straight road. The first bus A travels at a speed of 72 kilometers per hour. Speed 72 kilometers per hour, and the second at the speed of 48 kilometers per hour. At what time will they be 24 kilometers apart? Time t is same for A and for B. Now, distance is equal to speed times time, and the distance for the first bus A will be its speed 72 kilometers per hour times the time t. Likewise, the distance for the second bus B will be its speed times the same time, since the two times are equal. Now mind you, if you add the distance traveled by A to the distance traveled by B at this given time, then it should sum up to 240 kilometers, because we were asked to find the time when the distance of A and the distance of B would sum up to 240 kilometers. So A distance plus B distance at this time should be 240 kilometers. Don't forget, A distance is 72 times the time, plus the distance by B is also 48 times the time, and this should be equal to 240 kilometers. So we can factor out time t, and that means we can have 72 plus 48 left in here equal to 240. 72 plus 48 is 120 equal to 240. So we have 120t equal to 240. Divide both sides by 120 so that this can go with this. Finally, we have time t equal to 240 divided by 120 is 2. So our time is 2 hours. Don't forget, the car or the two buses started at 9 a.m. 2 hours after 9 a.m. is 11 a.m. Question 18. A solid cuboid has a length of 7 centimeters, width of 5 centimeters, and height of 4 centimeters. Calculate its total surface area. Now the total surface area of a cuboid should be its length times breadth multiplied by 2 plus its length times height multiplied by 2 and plus the breadth times the height multiplied by 2, which will be equal to, here is the length, here is the width, and here is the height. So we have 2 into length, 7 times the width, 5, plus 2 into the length times the height, 4, plus 2 into the width times the height. 7 times 5 is 35 times 2, 70, plus 4 times 7 is 28 times 2, 56, plus 5 times 4 is 20 times 2, 40. And if you sum this all up, 70 plus 40 is 110, and plus 56, that will be 166 centimeters. Question 19. If line PQ is parallel to line SR, then we can have another line parallel to both of them and label this A and also this B. Now, angle S here should be an alternate angle to angle A. So A should also be equal to 68 degrees. Also, 246 degrees plus 68 degrees plus angle B should be equal to 360 degrees. Reason is because they are an angle around the point. So B should be equal to 46 degrees. Now remember, line PQ is parallel to this line, so it means that angle B is alternate angle to angle x. So angle x is also equal to 46 degrees.